Well, joining us in a special chat today in Mumbai is Rado's top boss. The global CEO of Rado, Adrian Bosshard, is visiting Mumbai on a special announcement. But I'm going to speak to him about that. But apart from that, overall Rado's journey in India, key trends shaping the watch market, and much more. Adrian, welcome to ET Now. It's only the second time that we are meeting, both the occasions in Mumbai. Tell us about your visit. What brings you to the country this time?
Nice to see you again, definitely. Last time it was already 3 years ago, also here in Mumbai. And the occasion that I'm here is, first of all, I have visited some stores here in Mumbai. And starting Thursday, I will be in Delhi, because on Friday we have a very spectacular launch of a new collection, the true Le Corbusier special edition. And this will be happen on one of my favorite places, on the Indian Art Fair in Delhi. So looking forward to see this spectacular fair and to present our novelties there.
How exciting. And since you're visiting the market, what are the key trends that you're picking up from the India market about Rado as a brand? How are they perceiving? How is the younger consumer perceiving Rado today? And which are the markets that are showing you promise in the country?
Basically, for us, I suppose you have here, India became the #1 market for Rado globally. And this is definitely a very spectacular happening, because in terms of global luxury markets, India is for the time being not the biggest market, but due to the fact that really the customers here in India, they really appreciate our products, the strengths, the uniqueness, and also the positioning of our brand. It helps that the brand get this important position. One important reason is, of course, that Rado is already since decades strongly present in India, since the late 50s. Sure. That will mean over 70 years. That will mean you have very important roots, and we were capable during the last years also to strengthen the retail network and also the communication package to really attract also the young customers here in India with our brand.
And how do you make the case, for, like the Rado brand and the materials that you use in a market where, like a young consumer is preferring, let's say, a Whoop band or an Apple Watch, or the cheaper smart watches which are available that track anything and everything from your heart rate to receiving your messages and mails on the dial. So how are you, making a case for Rado in the country amongst the youth?
Very good question, because of course we see a lot of young customers, they have smart watches on the wrist, but therefore I would say also smartwatches, because probably a lot of customers or people who like also the tech-oriented, the function-oriented watches, they start to get the watch on the wrist due to the function. But when you wear a Rado watch on the wrist, it's not mainly through the function, it's more through the emotion and the artwork. When, for instance, you would like to give to somebody a long-term gift, finally a smartwatch after 2-3 years is obsolete. When you have a Rado watch in high-tech ceramic, it's a watch for the life. It's a watch which, thanks to the high-tech ceramic, remain like new for the whole life. A watch which has, in terms of mechanical movement, in terms of also timeless design, really a long-term value. And therefore we see a lot of young people who has probably also beside a smartwatch, they find also the pleasure and the emotion and the affinity to a traditional but modern Swiss watch like Rado. And therefore I would say the customers, they wear both.
Yeah.
But something for nice occasions, on long-term emotional relation, it's without a doubt a Swiss watch.
Sure. And tell us, like the key trends that are shaping, the India market for you. A lot of promise that has been seen in markets beyond metros, in smaller cities like Siliguri, like Raipur. So are you seeing, customers from these cities also, buying into Rado as a brand?
Of course, due to the fact that today we are not only doing traditional marketing with billboards and so on, we are also strongly engaged, in all the digital marketing platforms, social media, YouTube, and so on. We are reaching also audience in Tier-2, Tier-3 cities. And therefore, we see a big demand there. And therefore, also our distribution, our retail network is expanding also in these regions. But of course, only when we have appropriate retail partners there. Because a luxury brand like Rado needs also an appropriate environment with nice stores, nice malls,
Absolutely.
and competent people who can also transfer the message of the brand. But it's very relevant also geographical evolution.
Are you building more sort of a boutique experience in some of these cities where, like let's say a mall infrastructure, is missing in some of these places? Are you doing that with your partners?
Yes, we have some multi-brand stores. We have also some mono-brand stores. We see generally that the mono-brand stores are getting more and more shares, because when a customer would like to experience a brand, you have no better opportunity than a mono-brand boutique, when you can touch and feel the different products, where we can also get the message of the brand from the high-tech material, also the message from the testimonials and everything. And so therefore the boutique share is growing heavily in India, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've had long-term association with celebrities like Hrithik, Roshan, and now you've recently roped in Katrina, Kaif, on board Rado brand. Adrian, if you can also help us understand, how do these celebrity associations help the brand, and what is, the return on investment that you look at when you associate with these top-class celebrities for a brand like Rado in India?
When you are working with stars like Hrithik or Katrina, it's important that these stars are sharing the same values. And when they are sharing the same values and they are really fitting to the brand, in the end you have a long-term collaboration like with Hrithik over 1 decade. So that will mean the identification, he has a strong identification with Rado and we with him. And on the other side, of course, Hrithik and also Katrina, they have a very strong awareness in India through their Bollywood involvement. And this is definitely helping also to transfer the uniqueness of our product on their wrist. By Hrithik, it's the Captain Cook high-tech ceramic. And by Katrina, of course, she's wearing the very elegant Centrix open heart. And it's a good opportunity to really also to underline and show the strong relation which Rado have with the Indian population, with the Indian Bollywood scene, and of course with the Indian culture.
Yeah. Recently there have been a lot of trade conversations that have been going on that expands, the access for some of these luxury watches in India for the Indian consumer. Going forward, how do you see the impact of the India-EU FTA in improving the access for some of the major luxury watch brands from Europe, and bringing it to India?
Of course, trade agreements to reduce the taxes are always a big advantage, because in the end, when the customer is buying a watch, he wants to pay for the value of the watch, not mainly for the taxes.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we are very happy, of course, also that India found a deal with EU in order to reduce these taxes. But of course, for us, more important was that a couple of years ago, we found an agreement to reduce the taxes on Swiss watches imported to India. And therefore, now step by step, the taxes will be reduced. And this is a big advantage for the end consumers. And therefore, to reduce trade taxes is definitely a very good news for the Indian country.
Adrian, also give us an understanding or help us understand what is the single most or largest trend, that is driving the watch market, the luxury watch market and the affordable luxury watch market globally, that is also coming to India, that single most important trend that you are noticing?
Yes, I would say the most important trend is that the young customers today, they are searching also sustainable and long-term consumption goods. That would mean short-term goods, you put something on the wrist for 6 months and after you're throwing away, it's definitely for the young generation much less appreciated. They like to select products with a long-term value, products also with a sustainability, and products where they have also a long-term identification. Therefore, a Swiss watch, and especially a watch like Rado, who is produced in high-tech ceramic, which has a timeless beauty, scratch-resistant, very light, great wear comfort, and also a very emotional touch and feel. It's definitely very appreciated and therefore also more and more demanded. So we can really say we have worked during the last years in order to fulfill also the trends actually.
Sure. Thank you so much, Adrian. Thanks for joining us for this wonderful chat. Always a pleasure to speak to you.
Also for me. Thanks a lot.